The first time I got told I could lose some weight, I was in 4th grade. It looked like this. My name is Rain Parcell, and this is episode 3 of my series, Starving for Acceptance, Why Fashion Keeps Telling Us the Same Body. This is Adolescence and the Formation of Body Ideals, as part of my senior capstone, with my primary research question being, why does the fashion industry continue to promote damaging beauty ideals despite growing awareness of their harm? That is the overarching theme of my video essays. My goal is to create increased awareness of this harm, create a community to discuss these issues, and to begin to change that ideal. To note, my videos and research are centered in a female and Western perspective, as that is my experience. This video serves to answer how and why are these negative ideals pushed towards adolescents? How do these ideals negatively impact adolescents? And what are the long-term health effects? And what do we need to do to help? Just to give a baseline understanding, according to the National Association of Anorexia, Nervosa, and Associated Disorders, body dissatisfaction begins early with girls as young as 6 to 10 worrying about their weight. By the age of 14, 60 to 70% are actively trying to lose weight. 77% of children and adolescents report disliking their bodies. Only 12% of adolescent girls are diagnosed with an eating disorder, and adolescent boys even less. And only 20% ever seek treatment. These are only documented cases. The real numbers are likely much higher. Teenagers are incredibly vulnerable and easily influenced, especially while forming an identity. Looks and style change our perceived value at this time, and comparison is natural, but when we define our self-worth on others' perceptions of ourselves, and add in physically harmful ideas, we create a very dangerous standard. We begin to grow critically aware of our bodies during puberty, tending to be around the ages of 11 to 12, though it differs widely. These are massive changes to our bodies, our emotions, our identities, that makes being a teenager considered the most confusing and awful time of one's life. So, in addition to already low confidence and confusing changes, we add in the idea that you have to be thin in a specific way, eat a certain way, dress a certain way, look like the models you see online, and you have these ideals echoed everywhere around you. We want to be accepted. But the pressure to be better by being thin is so normalized that it makes self-scrutiny an essential part of growing. And these messages pushing that looks are tied to value are everywhere, on your phone and advertisements and conversations, just in media in general. With a constant bombardment of these ideas, they become normalized. These industries don't care about the insecurities that they're pushing. They create them. Whether it's fashion, beauty, social media, it's a pattern. They create an idea. They make it seem attainable. They emphasize how far one is from it, and then monetize a solution, whether that be products, diets, workouts, clothing, or cosmetic procedures. Adolescents, vulnerable and navigating identity, are vulnerable to this cycle. In the PubMed article, I'm Skinny, I'm Worth More, Allison Fixsen and Magdalena Kosseweska state that the fashion industry directly enforces self-destructive behaviors regarding thinness and instills that feeling at a formative age. These companies are using the message, "Your worth is conditional," to push their products while creating deeply troubling problems for many. So, how are these ideals pushed? The main way these ideals are pushed is through social media, public advertisements, and peer influence. Social media creates an environment where appearance is constantly evaluated with measurable forms of validation, constant comparison, and highly curated, filtered, and edited versions of people, in order to present an idealized reality. Visual platforms deliver the tools that allow teens to earn approval for their appearance and compare themselves to others. For some, especially girls, what starts as a fun way to document and share experiences can turn into an obsession. This is creating a cycle of fakeness being seen as normal, as attainable, as the standard. The content can appear positive too. Fitness or health posts that seem normal reinforce the standards, or things like Thinspiration or Outfit Inspo. These can all subtly promote extreme dieting, rigid routines, and obsessive behaviors without you even realizing it. Restriction and control become success, normalizing these harmful habits. There is research done in a positive correlation that increased time on social media, especially posting and editing photos, is linked to more negative thoughts about one's body. Peer environments amplify these harms. Peer opinions are seen as so important in adolescence, whether it be online or in person. Comments carry significant weight. Even something as simple as your friend saying, "Wow, that's so much food, I could never," at the lunch table. Those things don't leave you. The message is reinforced again and again. And while I'm saying this, I'm sure you can think of some examples where someone has said something like that to you. And that sticks with you. You think about that. Yes. How you look defines how you are treated and valued, which in turn defines how you see yourself. These ideals shape identity, and the real issue is where the long-term effects can take hold. When body dissatisfaction starts early and persists, it can lead to harmful behaviors such as restricting food, binging, overexercising, constant dieting. There's a strong link between negative body image and depression, social withdrawal, and low self-esteem, which can easily become much more severe issues. When someone believes that their worth is tied to their appearance, every flaw becomes a personal failure. Patterns become normalized, carried into adulthood as habits rather than issues. Eating disorders are a mental illness. They are a physical illness. They are often underdiagnosed and regarded as something a lot less severe than it actually is. When your body doesn't have enough nutrients, it eats at you, your fat, your muscles, and after that, your organs. Long-term disordered eating can impact growth and development, and by pushing these ideals, targeting adolescents, is creating an even more severe effect. We are made to compare ourselves to standards so unrealistic that a feeling of failure becomes constant. With a problem so deeply rooted, what do we do about it? This isn't an abstract issue to adolescents. It is something that impacts their daily lives. The beliefs they develop now about their bodies do not stay in adolescence, but shapes how they see themselves for years, sometimes permanently. Teens do not have a fully developed sense of identity to fall back on, and if we introduce harmful ideals in this time, they don't feel like unnecessary pressure. They feel like truth. We need to create spaces online and offline where appearance is not tied to one's value. We need to create honest conversations about this issue. This issue cannot be dismissed as a phase or something normal for growing up. These systems are not harmless. This is not just a cultural issue, but is a developmental one, shaping how we think. My goal with this video was to go through how we push negative body ideals towards adolescents, how do they negatively impact adolescents, what are the long-term health effects in order to create increased awareness and community around this issue. So if the ideas and content I shared resonated with you, please keep following, watch my other videos, and feel free to contact me by email or Instagram. Thank you so much for watching and giving your time to me.